Blessings, family. Welcome to another video. This is Lady B. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yes, guys, you don't know, say, all these things set up. We are going to be talking about the Vybz cartel case on various accounts, various occasions. The last thing we heard was that the DPP, Paula Llewellyn, she gave her side of how she ended up being, a part of the whole situation where the jury was still continued, the tainted jury still continued, because in her interview she said some things that left us thinking. And if people really listen to the interview, you understand, I did a video with that, so I go ahead and go watch that video there. So anyway, with that being said, Paula Llewellyn, who is the director of public prosecution, she said that she feel that the counselor them are trying to intimidate her and her office, and then she went back and she said that when the whole situation went down, and this is me saying it in my own words, when the whole situation went down with the tainted jury thing, the judge was the one who summoned her along with the other legal persons into her office. And when he summoned her into his office, I'm sorry, not her office, he summoned her into the office to get her opinion on the situation based on the fact that she is the director of the public prosecution, right? And it was saying that the defendant's lawyers didn't want to continue with the tainted juror. However, Paula Llewellyn, she decided that they have no problem continuing with the tainted jury or jury. Yeah, sorry. They have no problem continuing with the tainted jury. Okay? So, and whatever risk that's going to happen, they will face it. And this is why we're here, right? So basically, Vybz Cartel and his legal team, along with Sean Storm and the other two, I don't remember their name, no disrespect, but anyway, they took the case to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal denied the appeal. Then they got permission and they took it to the Privy Council, and then the Privy Council overturned the whole case, right? But they send it back to Jamaica. So they have a term that called quash. They quash the case, send it back to Jamaica. So right now, there's a lot of people weighing in on it. And make we hear from this social media person and see what he must say about the case. All right?
Basically, now, there have been plans to change it, but they have not changed it yet. But so it's in place where, they're thinking about a Caribbean Court of Justice to replace the UK Privy Council. But the UK Privy Council is there. So whatever the UK so say, Jamaica have to follow. So right now, I could just keep it simple. Vybz Cartel is in prison right now because he was convicted of murder. That is the reason why he's in prison right now. The UK Privy Council just ruled, courts ruled, that the convictions should be quashed. Quashed is one of those kind of like a British term, whatever, but let us not be in doubt about it. It means dismiss, done, get rid of, right? So the convictions no longer exist. So to be clear, technically, Vybz Cartel, Sean Storm, and the rest of them, they're free right now.
Technically.
They're still in prison in Jamaica, but they are free right now because the convict no longer exists. The convictions no longer exist. All right, there had been some, and then the UK and then the UK Privy Council also said that they're remitting the case to the Court of Appeals in Jamaica to make a decision as to if Vybz Cartel and the co-defendant should get a retrial. People went through, you have what is in black letter right there, and then sometimes you have to kind of think, what this really mean? What really are going? What the court really has said? One of the things I want you to keep in mind is that the court, the UK Privy Council, has the authority, or had the authority, to say that convictions are quashed and the defendants must be declared innocent. They actually have the authority to do that. Did not. And that's why this is a mixed thing here, and I'm being objective. I'm not here to determine and make any aspersions about who guilty and whatever this and thing, because what I want you to appreciate here, people, the UK Council's ruling, they are only concerned with what happened in the trial. And it's important you understand that, because some of you I'm talking to and you don't get
That's
that.
because they're breaking, guys.
They're only
Listen.
concerned with what happened in the trial. The UK Privy Council's ruling was not a ruling on Vybz Kartel's innocence. Guilt. Again, people, I'm not here to whatever. I'm just kind of helping you understand some things, right? Again, it's a procedural ruling. It's a ruling on the how. And what they're saying here is, and some people may, think that I'm using too strong a term here, but that's fine. We can agree to differ. What the UK Privy Council is saying here is, the trial, they're not talking about the trial, they're not talking about anything else. It's an appellate court. An appellate court just look for what happened in the trial and the evidence and so forth. They're saying that this trial was so awful. Again, they're not talking about whether or not, they're not concerned with whether or not Kartel guilty or innocent. They're saying the trial, which is very important for the court. For those of you who don't know, procedure is very, very important for court, like how the thing is done, right? There's that thing in court where they say justice must not only be done, but it must also appear to be done. Like when I just started law school, I was like, what's it? It's redundant. It's not, right? You can have a case where justice is done, but it never look like, the thing never look right, like it done. You can have a case where the thing look right and everything and all the rules and the procedures were followed. And even though all the rules and done by the book, you can't say justice wasn't done. So it's really two different things. So this is a procedural ruling. It's how the trial was conducted.
Okay.
And this is my opinion. I think the UK Privy Council is saying it was awful. I think they're saying it was awful.
Remember, he said that's
Whatever
his
the
opinion.
UK Privy Council saw when they're examining how the trial was conducted, they have made a damning ruling in nice terms. And they're basically saying to Jamaica, this was awful. Now, here's the thing I want y'all to think about. Given that they could have said, boom, quash all of the conviction them and the defend and free the defendant them. Them never said that. Them say quash all of the conviction them and take it back. Deal with it. My interpretation of that is that they saw where them I said the trial was awful, but it seems like they're seeing something else. They are saying, well, we're not going to go out there and go say free the defendant them, So them I said the trial was awful, but we're not going to go out there and say free the defendant them. So what they're doing is saying to Jamaica, you messed up with the trial. Fix it. That is what I'm saying. You messed up real bad with the trial. Fix it. You if you fix it. That is what they're saying to Jamaica, right? The Telegraph, and them use them nice sanitized terms and the bossy talk because that's how courts work and thing and whatever in the formal space. Again, my interpretation is, why we look at another trial going and a gross injustice occurred right here. That they must. Because again, the how is very important for the administration of justice. If you don't do it the right way or you corrupted the process deliberately in order to achieve an objective and whatever, courts don't like that.
Wow.
People in general, you have to understand, to get a conviction overturned, it's a high bar, it's a very high threshold. Let me say that again. To get convictions overturned, right? The court in general, them have this kind of good faith deference to juries, right? Because for the courts to work and to be legitimate and valid and whatever, we have to believe in what the juries conclude. So in order to supersede a jury, you have to come good. Or the thing have to be really that bad. For the court say, no, this need for overturn.
Wow.
And that is what the court is saying here. I probably using corrupted into the process is too strong a term, but where I still in law school, I wouldn't use that term, But the court is very damning here. Put it this way, Jamaican jurisprudence, this is not a good day for Jamaica, right? This is not a good day for the Jamaican. Again, I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying based on what the UK Privy Council is saying.
Right.
They're saying, Jamaica, so I really mess this up. Fix it, man. I'm not come give you for fix it. I want to fix it.
That's what I figured too.
So now it is in the hands of the highest. And again, for those of you who don't know, some of you know this, okay? You know that courts are hierarchical, right? And just like here in the United States of America, where once the Supreme Court rule, all other courts have to follow the Supreme Court. It's the same in Jamaica with the Court of Appeals. So the Privy Council is saying to the Court of Appeals, all right, una the top dog down there is una responsible for all things judicial down there. I put it in a phone on. Una determine if we're going to go with a retrial. I know the question is, what is the likelihood of a retrial? That is a tricky question. They could order a retrial, but based on the court's ruling, it kind of in a cartel favor. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Let me just say I could be wrong. But based on the court's ruling, it kind of in a cartel.
Okay, so
right
this is
Jamaica, but in terms of
this is Ragashanti, because he is a lawyer, or he's in law school. I think he graduated the other day. So at times I listen to him because I am not a lawyer, I'm a teacher. So I don't know all the legal things. So I'm still here trying to learn the whole process. Probably I will be a lawyer in the next decade, however, because that's my dream career. But you just have to listen to those persons who have more experience than us and who have and even if they have more experience than us, we just still need to kind of listen, be objective and all of that. So that was what he had to say. So he's saying some things that's basically explaining the situation for those who still need clarification. And as I said, this is an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing case, an ongoing scenario. Not everybody, but most people have their thoughts they're sharing. All right, so we have another general. This guy's a TikTok general. We're gonna hear what he has to say as well. So right now we want to hear from the general here. Basically in the share a video before this one. So apparently he's trying to make this one clear. He's a police officer, so he is sharing his views just like how everybody else are sharing their views. He's sharing his views regarding the situation, and basically he is saying that Lizard was not innocent, and basically this is his opinion. He was saying that Lizard is not innocent. He back in the days when we were growing up, they would say birds of a feather flock together. Show me your company, tell me who you are. So this is basically what he is explaining in this situation. So he's saying that the fact that Lizard was supposed to keep the two guns or how much weapons safe, and he couldn't find them, and then he was summoned to be at a certain place. He is saying, the police officer is saying that birds of a feather flock together. Therefore, how do we know that Lizard was not doing some dirty work for cartel? These are some questions. I know me, they say that. This is my interpretation of what he was saying. How we know that, Lizard wasn't doing some work for cartel, and in this case, that's how they ended up being close, because of birds of a feather flock together. So he is saying that he is not on cartel side and he is not on Lizard side. He is just sharing his opinion to see, or splitting the difference, or being objective, right? So that's what I get from what he's saying. So I'm gonna let you listen to what he's saying. It didn't start from the beginning of the video, but just kind of pick sense out of nonsense for the beginning part, and then we talk a little bit more.
Cartel shouldn't be free, and cartel deserve life.
No, that's not beginning.
Justice for Lizard, and that cartel shouldn't be free.
So he's saying that some people are saying that they want justice for Lizard, and they're saying that cartel shouldn't be free and all of that. That's what he's saying that some people are saying, right? So make we listen some more what he must say.
Deserve life in prison for taking out Lizard. But I'm going to say this to you. Birds of a feather flock together. Lizard not innocent.
So he's basically saying, based on the fact that that situation happened and Lizard was in the company of cartel, he's saying that birds of a feather flock together, as on just here. As me say, we can say it one next way, show me your company, tell me who you are, and then he must say Lizard is not innocent, as much as everybody has said they want justice for him. So make we hear some more what the general has say.
If Lizard is innocent, Lizard wouldn't end up in a situation where I'm with cartel. A game machine to keep, and then machine end up missing, and then allegedly cartel take out Lizard. If somebody give a machine to keep, and that is your job to keep the machine safe, that means he's a gunman. You get me I say? So at the end of the day, Lizard is not innocent. I'm not saying cartel is innocent either. But I'm just saying birds of a feather flock together. You get me I say? Oh, you don't know, say, Lizard take out a whole heap of people for cartel. Oh, you don't know, say, Lizard was one of cartel, like a hit his way. Go take out some people for, you understand what I mean? I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, I'm just saying. Because you're part of a criminal enterprise. Because to me, that seemed like it was a criminal enterprise. It was a gang. You get what I say? Because if man give man machine to keep on XYZ, and a man a beat man when time man hack up and them thing there. And when man nah do what himself do, man just get beaten. That seemed like it was a gang to me.
All right, make we pause it right here. So, yes, guys, so basically this officer is saying that he is not taking sides, but he also think that birds of a feather flock together and Lizard is not innocent. So make we continue to listen to what he had to say, and then we talk some more.
So birds of a feather flock together. So none of them, to me, none of them not innocent. You get what I say? Lizard not innocent, cartel not innocent. You get what I say? So if cartel even do get off this case, it's technicality. I'm going to explain the technicality to you. In the Jamaican law, if a jury is tainted by the accused who's on trial, and so for example, him hire somebody to bribe the jury. And if him successful, him win the case because him bribe the jury to get a not guilty verdict. But if everything get busted, the judge find out say the jury was being bribed, if the judge does not do away with the jury and get a fresh jury, because in the laws of Jamaica, you have to have a jury to try a murder case. You cannot have the judge just decides, all right, me sentence you. You get what I say? Unless a manslaughter. But if a murder case, you need a jury, right? Judge alone can't do that. So, because the judge never do away with the jury, cartel get a loophole, and cartel lawyers get a loophole to go to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal in Jamaica should have, let me tell you why them should have.
And this is the general opinion. So, you know, everybody have their own opinion based on the circumstances that they see. So, make we continue here. What him say? Why him say the Court of Appeal should have listened to the case?
What them should have do? Them should have did accept cartel appeal and do a retrial. Years ago that would happen. You get what I say? Instead, they make it reach to the Supreme Court, which is in England,
the Privy
Council. Now you're on the world stage and the whole world now, Sister Jamaica, corrupt. Right? And the reason why they overturn the case, they overturn the whole conviction. So technically, cartel is no longer a criminal. You cannot call him a criminal because his conviction was overturned by the Privy Council. But the reason why they sent back the case to Jamaica is for Jamaica to redeem themselves and do the right thing. You get what I say? So if the DPP, Paula Lewin, make ego get to her and she don't do the right thing, now Jamaica gonna look more corrupt on the world stage because we are already on the radar. You get what I say?
Wow.
But what they are trying to do now, what the government of Jamaica is trying to do now, they're trying to change the laws that prevent an accused from getting these kind of privileges.
Wow.
From getting this kind of privilege to go to the Privy Council or to appeal if they are the one who tainted caused the jury to be tainted. They don't get that kind of luxury. They don't get that kind of access to get them kind of case where they go Privy Council and them thing there. You get what I'm saying? So they're lobbying now to change that law. What they should also do is lobby to change the law that a judge can just make a decision, just beat the hammer and make a decision without the jury. That's
right.
The law they need to go. They need to go that route too. So at the end of the day, to me, Vybz Cartel and them lawyer, them did play chess. And the justice system of Jamaica was playing checkers.
Wow. So that is another way it is said by this officer. So he's basically saying that if the Court of Appeal had listened to Vybz Cartel appeal, when he did it, then they wouldn't be in this predicament because basically they would have already did a retrial, right? But they did not listen to the case or whatever legal term they use for Vybz Cartel to get the chance to go to the Privy Council. And in that sense, the Privy Council quashed the case or overturned the case so that the Jamaica Court of Appeal has to do their job a better way, or, you know, that's my opinion, a better way. All right? So, I don't know what to say. What do you think is going to happen, guys? Will Vybz Cartel be free? Or will they do a retrial? Right now, Mr. Where Paula Lewin in a lobby for a retrial. In my understanding. Anyway, Mr. Where PJ Patterson and his lawyer, you small, also we in on the situation. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that, and then that's gonna be the end of the video, cause me not want it too long. So former Prime Minister PJ Patterson has weighed in on the situation surrounding the ruling of Judicial Committee of the Privy Council to quash the murder case convictions of Adidja Palmer and his co-defendants. So right now the case is a huge case, and as I said earlier, everybody are weigh in, everybody are give them input, everybody are give them 2 cents, 3 cents, 5 cents, $1, $100. Everybody are put in, give their explanation. I mean, not put in for me yet, but anyway, me soon do it. I just make you know what everybody else has say. Anyway, former Prime Minister PJ Patterson has this to say in a joint statement with him and Hugh Small, right? Both of whom are King's Counsels upbraided the decision of the trial judge to have continued with the trial dispute the apparent jury misconduct. So, in a joint statement, PJ Patterson and Hugh Small, they upbraid, they didn't agree. They find fault with the decision as well. This is their statement. The judgment of the Privy Council in the case, popularly called the Vybz Cartel Appeal, has attracted attention because the Privy Council ruled that the Jamaica judges at the appellate state should have discharged all the jurors from continuing to try the accused persons. Patterson revealed that there was a special 1983 case that mirrored certain aspects of the Vybz Cartel case as it relates to the treatment of a contaminated jury pool. And this is what the statement said. Neither the judge, Justice Lennox Campbell, nor the 3 judges who heard the appeal from the ruling and verdict were apparently aware that there was a judgment of the Court of Appeal in 1983 that ruled in similar circumstances that the duty of the court was to discharge the entire jury and order a new trial. Oh, them never know that. Normally when people do stuff, them look and pass research and pass situation and see if there's anything in the past that mirror this situation. So them never know that. But that's what the statement said, that in 1983 there was a similar scenario, right? That happened. Okay? The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council, and this is, they're just repeating what everybody know, that they overturned the convictions of Adidja Palmer and the co-accused Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John for the 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams, and remitted the question of whether there should be a retrial to Jamaica's appeal court. The appeal court is yet to rule the case. All right? So, the statement continued to say, at that trial, Justice U.D. Gordon, after 3 weeks of evidence, discharged a foreman as a special juror. Okay, so let me go back up because they're referring to a former case or a previous case. All right, so Lord Lloyd Jones, in delivering the ruling, and the board was of the view that the tainted juror should not have been kept on the jury. Patterson and Small agreed with the assessment using the case of the Gleaner Company Limited. Okay, so this is the previous case that he was talking about with the Gleaner Company and John Hayne versus Michael Manley to drive home their point. So this was, I forgot to research a case there, Both Small and Patterson had both appeared as counsel for the plaintiff Manley in the libel case. Wow, interesting. And this is what the statement said. At the trial, Justice U.D. Gordon, after 3 weeks of evidence, discharged a foreman as a special juror that was hearing evidence in a libel case in which Manley claimed damages for an article written by John Hayne and published by the Gleaner. During the hearing of the evidence for Manley, the Gleaner produced evidence that the foreman of the jury was employed in the National Workers Union during a period of the time when Manley held the executive position of island supervisor of the NWU. And the statement continued to say, Justice Gordon, and this is there, he is the statement is just making reference to this case as it relates to, in comparison to the Vybz Cartel case. So basically, this is a case that happened before where there was a tainted juror, right? So that's what this statement is referring to. Justice Gordon discharged the foreman of the jury on the grounds of apparent bias, but refused to discharge the entire jury and decided to continue with the 6 special jurors who remanded. The Gleaner and John Hinn appealed against Justice Gordon's refusal to discharge all the members of the jury. So, the Court of Appeal of Jamaica, consisting of Justices Edward Zaka, Ira Rowe, and R.O.C. White, decided by a majority that the entire jury must be discharged and a new trial take place. The case report in Supreme Civil Court number 4 of 1983. So uno go look upon the case there. So what the statement is saying, that a similar case happened in 1983. And the Court of Appeal decided by a majority that the entire jury had to be discharged. So why they never do that this time? In his judgment, and the statement continued to say, in his judgment, the president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Edward Zaka, stated, nothing should be done which creates even a suspicion that there has been an improper interference with the course of justice. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, PJ Patterson and Hugh Small for this. So I don't understand how those people didn't realize that something similar happened in the past and the entire jury was dismissed. The statement continued. The learned trial judge finding of the foreman's known admiration and contact with the plaintiff, taken together with the period of time during which the jurors have been sitting together, the fact that the trial judge ought not to make inquiries from the other jurors as to what had taken place in the jury box and the nature of the case warranted a discharge of the entire jury. One cannot tell to what extent the bias of the foreman may have been influenced by the remaining jurors. So basically this is saying that the trial judge was not taking any chances because the fact that the plaintiff had known the foreman had known the plaintiff, right? And then the juror who was on the case was sitting with the other jurors. They don't know if that juror had tried to influence the remaining jurors. So basically they take no chance. So why Paula Llewellyn and the other people, them never think of this? Why them never dig up and research and consult? Why may I tell you? It is regrettable that this case was not brought to the attention of Justice Campbell, the judges of the Jamaica Court of Appeal, Dennis Morrison, Patrick Brooks, and Franklin Williams are cited in the Privy Council. So what Patterson is saying, that the same thing where Ragashanti say, yo, me never know what to say. Yo. Me say a same thing Ragashanti say. So, let me read this again and then me explain it. What the statement written by Percival James Patterson and Hugh Small said is that it is regrettable that this case was not brought to the attention of Justice Campbell and the judges of the Jamaica Court of Appeal. So basically he is saying when Vybz Kartel, his co-appellants, counselors asked that the case to be taken to the Court of Appeal, when they rule against listening to the case, it's a pity. That's what PJ Patterson and Hugh Small is saying, that this case should have been brought to the attention of the Privy Council. I'm sorry, to the attention of the Jamaica Court of Appeal. It should have been brought to them to the judges, they should have looked at it. They should have given the chance to look at it. They should have been given the chance to look at it. Justice Campbell, Dennis Morrison, Patrick Brooks, and Franklin Williams. If you don't understand something different, let me know. In conclusion, the learned men observed that it is worthy of note, unlike the situation in the Vybz cartel case, there was no finding of actual misconduct by the foreman in the civil case. So basically, when they brought the case that in 1983 to the Court of Appeal, they found, or they ruled, that there was no actual misconduct. So not because you know somebody, that means you're going to try get them to taint the juror. So that's basically what that case turned out to be. However, this case probably would have, anyway, he said it is worthy of note, unlike the situation in the Vybz cartel case. So basically, in the Vybz cartel case, there was tainted juror. And once they had if the Court of Appeal had listened to it, then they would have done their retrial already, and they wouldn't be planning to do it now if the DPP is going to really want it to push for it to happen. The learned gentleman who also objected strongly to the actions of the trial judge in the Vybz cartel case. I don't like reading, or sometimes I don't like read them something and then too long. Anyways, with that being said, the statement continued to say that the criminal case against Vybz cartel et al., notwithstanding 64 days of trial, was not merely a risk but a fatal error to render any final verdict unacceptable in accordance with the tenets of justice and the decision of our own Court of Appeal in 1983. So basically, the statement is saying that the fact that they continue with the case was not just a risk but an error to make any final verdict. You understand? In the tenets of justice and the decision of their own Court of Appeal. So basically, what I understand from this, it was not just a mistake. It was a big risk. And the big risk actually had them gone to the Privy Council, who overturned the conviction. So this what is happening now. If Paula Llewellyn is really gonna want a retrial, then guess what's gonna happen? This should have been done. They should have listened. They should have listened to the case. Like the Court of Appeal should have listened to the case, right? And that retrial would have done already. And basically they made a decision of what happened to Vybz cartel. If they had, that's what PJ Patterson is saying. It's a pity it didn't get to the Court of Appeal, because they would have already solve that situation or solve that problem, or amend the situation. I'm just using different ways to explain it. So anyway, this is my 2 cents based on what Percival James Patterson and Hugh Small said. This is their input, and they refer to a case that happened in 1983, and basically they're saying that it's a similar case, and based on the fact with that case was taken to the Court of Appeal, and the Court of Appeal ruled that there was no misconduct. So if this case was taken to the Court of Appeal, I'm not saying it wouldn't rule. It would definitely rule that there's a misconduct, but then they would allegedly, and that's my concept, but then they would have already done a retrial based on the situation. But anyway, this is it. Let me know what you think about the entire video. Let me know if you agree with what PJ Patterson and Hugh Small said. Just give your input. If you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when I upload another video. And when I go live, so guess what now? No? You know, say this is a case and I go done for right now. Every day we're gonna have something new. Every day somebody else I go share. Every day we're going to hear something different, right? But anyway, let me also know what you think the police officer said. You agree? Just give me your input. I'm gonna ask if you agree or disagree. Just give me your input. Also, based on what Ragashanti say, and you know him a liar, so he explained it, in his terms. So just let me know what you think, guys, and you can give your 2 cents. Remember, be respectful in the comments, because if it's very important to show respect and respect everybody else's comments. All right, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. And let me see if I should shout out. Let me see who I can shout out today. All right, hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna see who I can shout. If I have any new subscriber that I can shout out today. All right, let's get to it. I always like to shout out at least 1 or 2 people just to show my appreciation for your support. Yes. All right, let's see. So far, I just want to shout out all my new subscribers. I'm not able to see who are new as yet. So the last subscriber I shouted out was my March 13 subscriber, Gaza Davis. So thank you so much for subscribing to the channel, and everybody who subscribed, and all my subscribers, thank you so much. I appreciate you and I love you. So check out another video on my playlist. Watch out for more videos coming soon, and thank you for watching.